Hey there, greetings everybody. Welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show that is dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So, we're going to do a favorites tonight, and this is Wednesday Night Favorites, of course, show that I do these rankings every week. Usually it's a 5 or maybe a 10 or a 25. Sometimes I do an album ranking, but today we're doing a 25. This one was given to me by Zachary. He's a subscriber on the channel. He put forth this, and I thought it was a good idea. Kind of fit it to my own terms, but at the same time, I think it'll work out good. So what he asked me to do was to make a set list that I would love to hear, 25 songs in a set list. So this will be basically, I figured out the timing, so it's be between 2.25 and 2.5 hour set list. So how I decided to work this so that it could be possible is that at the end of each song, I'm going to be teleported to another spot to hear the next song on the list. So we're using a little science fiction here to go, which I hope will go a long way. So I've picked out 25 songs. These aren't necessarily my favorite songs by any of these bands. What they are is they're songs I would like to see played live by the bands who originated them. So I've picked out 25. I could have easily picked 75 songs and put them in here, but that would be going on for 6 hours, 7 hours. Nobody could watch a concert that long. Well, at least I couldn't. I know that. So I've picked out the 25, and I've kind of done this in a bit of an arrangement style. So I've got the first couple of tracks are what I would consider openers. So they're going to be on the set list as openers. Then I've done a prog part at the beginning, and then I've done a little bit of a hard pop part, or what they would call power pop type songs in there. And then we move up to hard rock, and then we move up to metal. Then we drop down, do a little bit more pop, hard rock pop, and then I'm going to do 3 females right towards the end to kind of finish out the concert. And then we're going to do 3 encores. So it kind of breaks it down for me. Nice, exactly what I would like to hear. So the opening track of this concert will start with 2112 from Rush. Not one of my favorite songs by Rush, but definitely a classic opener. I love it. That beginning part with the overture, fantastic. So a long 20-minute opener for the concert. That'll wake me up for sure. And I like the version on this particular album as well. So Rush's 2112 to open the concert. Then we're teleported just as the last notes of the Federation are being hailed. We are then teleported to 1980 and at Maple Leaf Gardens to see Yes doing Tempest Fugit. We get to hear the bass riff from Chris Squire and that scorching guitar part that Steve Howe does, which he never does on any other Yes album, but this one, absolutely killer. Gotta hear that. Gotta hear it. So that will be my second choice. And then from there, we're teleported way back in time to 1973 in a live set. We get to see Peter Gabriel dressed like this and playing Watchers of the Sky. To me, that would be a gripping song to watch in concert. Just absolutely killer. I think on this particular version, it's fairly lengthy. It's the opener, so it's about somewhere between 8.5 and 9 minutes in length, which makes it actually the shortest of the 5 tracks on here. I could have picked some of the other tracks on here. I love them all. This album absolutely kills me. I love it. And that song, Watchers of the Sky, fantastic. Steve Hackett, amazing on this. So that would be my third one. And towards the end of that, we're going to be teleported to somewhere in the future where we will get to see the last track on this album, which is coincidentally the track I like the least on the album, but it's the one I would most like to see live. I think the guy's vocals are fantastic on this song. So Harvest of Souls is the song by IQ, my number 5 song. So moving along to the number 6 song, we are going to do a little bit of a psychedelic switch. It's psychedelic, but it's also heavy. It's also kind of got some prog to it. And I've chosen a song from this album called Veteran of the Psychic Wars. I love the drum part in this. I would love to be there. I think it would put goosebumps on me for this song. So number 6, Blue Oyster Cult's Veteran of Psychic Wars. The next song comes from an album I absolutely love. Another song that's kind of got some prog elements, but I think of it more as a heavy song. Born to Adventure off of Styx's Equinox, or Equinix if you prefer it that way. Absolutely killer song. I love it. I think Dennis DeYoung's vocals spectacular on this song. This is a very underrated track and not necessarily my favorite Styx song, but I would love to see it in concert with a half a dozen other ones like that too. The next track is from a band that I don't generally care much for, and a lot of people have ridiculed me for that. I get it, but I do love Carry On My Wayward Son, moving in here as the 7th track in this concert. Yeah, so far I'm rocking. Next up, I like this version of this song, although I do like the tame version too. This is a live version of Jumpin' Jack Flash, going way back, seeing the Stones live, doing Jumpin' Jack Flash. Can't imagine it getting much better than that. So that's track number 8. Track number 9, I switched it out. I was going to go with a different track, but I decided to go with this one because it's probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Beatles song. Here Comes the Sun. Sorry, the cover of this album has disappeared. Iconic cover missing, right? But however, Here Comes the Sun. Absolutely killer track. I love that guitar part. I think it's fantastic. I would love to see the Beatles play that live. So next up, we go to a kind of a power pop. So we've done this little progressive, and it's moved down to a little more of a poppy kind of sound coming up. And so I've chosen, let me turn these over, a song from this band, which high energy. I would love to see them do this. She's So Selfish. Clearly my favorite song by the band. Would kill to see it live. Of course, it would have to go back to the 80s somewhere to see this one. Absolutely killer song. Number 10. That's number 10. Number 11, from this band, another power pop song, Avideze. Yeah, absolutely killer. Heavy driving, very, very high energy track. Probably one of my favorite tracks by these guys. Comes off of this album, but the live version is not bad either. Next up, the number 12. Yes, gotta have this in there somewhere, right? Kiss, Alive. And I've chosen the song Parasite. I absolutely love the guitar in this. I think the live version is killer. It's probably one of their best tracks ever. And definitely would love to see that live. Whole show. So we're going to go back to 1975 for this Madison Square Gardens, you know. Next up, a band that brought metal to my doorstep and kept it there. And this album was is probably my favorite metal album. And the opening track, Neon Nights, was the one that launched me into the heavy metal world. Absolutely killer track. I absolutely love this track. It's going to come in at number 13. Number 14, even heavier, even more loving of this track, comes off one of my favorite metal albums, and I could have picked any one of all 10 tracks on here, but I chose Riding on the Wind. Absolutely killer, very well loved track. Got to be in here, coming in number 14. Number 15 on my list, the absolutely killer vocals. This song is heavy, but it also has a lot of prog in it, but the vocals are killer. Guitar solo is amazing. The opening drum part is fantastic. The whole song is a killer. Stargazer from Rainbow. Yes, Stargazer from Rainbow, number 15. So I'm just going to move this stack down because I don't want it on the floor. So next up, another heavy metal track, one that absolutely is killer. Probably the most famous of this group's songs, or one of the most famous for sure, and one of my favorites by this band, which is Hallowed Be Thy Name from Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast. I would love to see this in 1982 when they're at their peak, when they're just peaking. Next up, this is a song that I saw on the tube. I've seen this, and then I would just love to go back to 1975 to be in the concert when these guys are playing this. Miss Misery from Nazareth, killer track, killer track, heavy as hell, but it's a little bit of a step down from the metal. Now we're going down a bit. So the next song is a rock and roll song. It's a song I love. I love the riff, as I do much of the stuff that this guy does, or this band does, riffing wise. This is one of my favorite of their albums. Really killer track, Live Wire from AC/DC's High Voltage. Fantastic. So that is number 18. Number 19, from a Canadian band who was the first band that I ever loved. And this track is amongst my favorite, if not my top 2 or 3 favorite by this band. I would love to see this in concert, just to sit there and relax and hear it. Rock Is My Life, and This Is My Song from Not Fragile by BTO. I know many of you would thought that I might have taken the song Not Fragile, but I like this song a little bit better. So that's number 19. So the next 3 songs, all 3 are by females. And this is where I'm going to end the concert before we start doing, before we do the encores. So the first one is from, I don't actually own this. This is the only one on the list I didn't own. It's from Blondie, and it's Heart of Glass. I always loved that wind up. She's absolutely spectacular on this song. I love her vocals. She's beautiful. The album is well presented on Parallels. And it's just a killer track, Heart of Glass. The next track comes from this album, Heart, Dreamboat Annie, and this is Sing Child Sing, or Sing Child. Absolutely killer track, really bluesy, very Jethro Tullish, which I didn't have on this. I didn't have a Jethro Tull here, but there's a reason for that. So, Sing Child, and there's a flute solo on this song too, absolutely amazing. And Ann Wilson, killer. The last one, the song that ends the concert before the encores, 2,000 Miles from the Pretenders, Chrissie Hynde, amazing. The whole band here is amazing, really, to be honest. This is a killer track. Absolutely love this song. I love almost everything on this album, but this ends the album, ends the concert, and now we get the encores. So now I'm being teleported somewhere in Brazil to see the Police. Yes, Message in the Bottle. Probably my favorite, one of my favorite Police tracks for sure. Really up-tempo, really high energy. I love the lyrics. I love the vocals here by Sting are amazing. This is a killer album, and this is the title, the first track. Absolutely love this. And that's my first encore. My next encore, we go way back in time, way back to 1970, and we get that one of the most iconic riffs, bass riffs of all time, Ramble On, Led Zeppelin 2. Absolutely love it. Probably my favorite Zeppelin song, if not really close. Absolutely love this album too, but that is this track that I've chosen from Zeppelin. And to end off the concert on the highest of notes with the best of live bands of all time and the best song live, I think, Won't Get Fooled Again, from Who's Next, or if you want, Live from Leeds as well. Actually, I don't think it's on Live from Leeds. It isn't. But this is absolutely one of the best live tracks ever. So much energy, so much going on. The band is at its best. Absolutely killer. I would love to have seen this played live. And this is my final encore. Won't Get Fooled Again from Who's Next by The Who. And that's it. Those are my 25. I'll just reiterate them one more time in case you're losing track there. 2112 from Rush. Tempest Fugit from Yes. Watchers of the Sky from the Genesis live album. Harvest of Souls from IQ. Veteran of Psychic Wars from BOC, Blue Oyster Cult. Born to Adventure from Styx's Equinox. Carry On My Wayward Son from Kansas. Jumping Jack Flash from the live, Love It Live, Rolling Stones album. Actually, it wasn't Day Tripper. I took that one out and put in Here Comes the Sun from the Beatles off of their Abbey Road album. She's So Selfish from the Knack. Avitas A from Cheap Trick and their Heaven Tonight album. Parasite, number 12 from Kiss. Number 13, Neon Nights from Sabbath. Number 14, Riding on the Wind from Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance. Number 15, Stargazer from Rainbow Rising. Number 16, Hallowed Be Thy Name from Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast. Number 17, Miss Misery from Nazareth. Number 18, A Live Wire from AC/DC and their High Voltage album. Number 19, Rock Is My Life. This Is My Song from BTO's Not Fragile. Number 20, Life Is a... No, sorry. I took that one out and I put in Blondie's Heart of Glass. Actually, Blondie was originally, and then I decided I wanted to put this in, and then I said, no, I want Blondie in there. So I put her back in there because she had to be on this list. She's just amazing. Sing Child from Heart. This is a absolutely killer track. So Jethro Tullish. 2,000 Miles from the Pretenders off of their Learning to Crawl album is number 22. Number 23, the first of the 3 encores, Message in a Bottle from the Police and their Regatta de Blanc album. Number 24, Ramble On from Led Zeppelin 2. And the final track, the last encore, that ends it off with the absolutely killer song, Won't Get Fooled Again from The Who and Who's Next, number 25. And there you have it. So I know some of you are going to say, where's your Pink Floyd on this list? And where's your Jethro Tull? Well, I like doing this so much, I'm going to do each of those 2 groups on their own 25. So I'm going to do a Pink Floyd one, and I'm going to do a Jethro Tull 25. I may do other groups, but these are the 2 that I wish to do, and that's why I did not include either of them in this list. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. It was supposed to be fun. There's no ranking here. There's no favorite songs or anything like that. It's just what I would love to see if I was doing a live concert if I was able to be in all these different places to see all these bands somehow magically appearing to see that particular song. I would kill to see all these tracks live, and I would probably put earplugs in just to put up with it. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of favorites with my 25 favorite playset songs, or something to that effect. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, subscribe, leave your comments, leave your list. Is there other songs you think that absolutely have to be on this list? Is there songs that you would kill to see live? Maybe you'll never get to see them for whatever reason. I left Gentle Giant out of it too. I may do one for them as well. But, you can't do everything, because if we were to see everything we wanted to see live, we probably wouldn't get any sleep. So please hit the notification bell so you get the notified of the next one, and we will see you next week with another episode of Favorites. Take care and have yourself a good one. Goodbye.